Here we go, the 19-minute sports report, the only show in sports media asking the burning question of the day. Where will Dak Prescott re-sign next year? Who knows?
Live from a city in Southern California. This is the 19-minute sports report. Here's your host, Daniel West.
Yes, it is time for another edition of the 19-minute sports report. I'm Daniel West, your host, joined as always by Dave Rogers. Off camera to my right, your left. That wasn't a political comment. That was just, he's over there. John Beanie's over here, joined by the news snail. We'll hear from all of them in just a moment. Actually, we won't. I'm going to be the only one talking today. Welcome to the show. But it is time for something we like to call the Sports Building Update, where we enter the sports building to get an update on the world of sports. I have my notes here, written on this note card, hence my notes, that tell me about things that have happened in the week in sports. Because I know that there's a lot going on in sports. Maybe you've missed some of these things that have happened in the world of sports. That's why I'm here. I'm here to tell you the things that you haven't heard before. Or maybe give you some ideas that you haven't heard before. Because later on in the show today, I'm going to be giving you some college football rankings. I know a lot of people have talked about the 12-team playoff because you don't have the 14 playoff anymore. But not a lot of people have given you their predictions for the playoffs because it's very complicated. We now have conference champions who are going to be seeded 1 through 4. We have rankings, but the rankings are different from the seedings because if you're the number 1 team and you lose your conference championship game, then it doesn't matter because now you're the 4 seed, even if the committee says, well, you're still the best team in the nation. So we probably won't have the Florida State situation happen again, although the committee definitely will try to place all SEC teams in the playoff. So I wanted to get that out of the way and let you know that that's what's coming up next on the show. But first, it is time for the sports building update. John Beanie, are we ready with the sports building imaging? I think John Beanie's ready. I think this is the fastest we've ever done this segment. John Beanie, hit me with the music. This sports building update, as it has been all summer long, is brought to you by water. Now, we're coming to the end of summer, but that doesn't mean you have to stop drinking water. You can find water bottled in many stores across America, or if you go to your tap, if you feel comfortable, you can also drink it there. I don't have any in front of me, but trust me, I look hydrated, don't I? That's because I drink water. In the NFL, Jaden Daniels has been announced as the starting quarterback for Week 1 for the Washington football team. No, the Washington Commanders. Sorry, got that mixed up. This worked so well the last time, said Washington, about putting a rookie at quarterback. In the NBA, the league seeks a dismissal in the lawsuit against Warner Brothers Discovery did against the NBA. Now, the lawsuit is alleging that the NBA broke their agreement, which allowed Warner Brothers Discovery to match the rights of Amazon or a new competitor and keep the NBA. The NBA says that the contract was rewritten. They wanted the contract rewritten, and thus the lawsuit is null and void, and they want it thrown out. But in the end, the big lesson is nothing says, and I quote CEO of Warner Brothers Discovery, David Zaslav, "We don't need the NBA," like suing the NBA to keep your rights. In Major League Baseball, Scott Service, manager of the Seattle Mariners, has been fired. He is the manager no more of the Seattle Mariners. This after an 18-25 record since July 1st. I guess you could say the Mariners did their fans a service. Wow. Who wrote that? Which one of you wrote that? Was that you, Dave? And finally, in the world of tennis, world number 1 Jannik Sinner has lost 400 points and has been fined more than $300,000 that he won in prize money after testing positive for a banned substance. He says the substance was given to him accidentally by his therapist, who he has now gotten rid of. But in the end, the tennis said, the tennis? It's not the tennis. The world tennis. The tennis? That's not. Anyway, the tennis, and I quote my staff here, sick. That's not what they meant. But the tennis says, we'll let you compete just as long as you admit you're a sinner. All right, enough with the writers. We need a serious update. For more from the Informal Network, you can listen to the 5-Minute LA Sports Show for all of your biggest news and headlines, and listen right here to the Informal program's 19-minute sports report. Every 25 minutes, we have a news update for you. Brought to you by water. Drink it. It's the end of summer. All right. John, you ready? So smooth, so seamless. The news snail is here. The news snail, what's going on, news snail? All right, thank you. New Snail always hands me a nice letter here. Let's see what we got here. Ticketmaster data breach? Is that what you wanted to say? They had another one? How many times are they going to get? Okay. Did you have anything else besides that my data's been compromised at Ticketmaster again? Oh, no. The astronauts on the space station from Boeing, they're not going to get back until 2025? Oh, that's not good. Who thought it was a good idea to send someone up in something made by Boeing after the, I don't, do they sponsor us? I don't need those problems if we're sponsored by them, but I would not have done that. I would not have done that.
Too far.
What do you mean too far? What do you mean too? I know this is a sports show, but who looked at the planes and said, hey, you know what would be a great idea? Let's send people to outer space in those things. It seems very illogical to me that you would look at Boeing's track record or flight record or, because, a door falls off on a plane. Maybe a phone gets sucked out, maybe a person, hopefully not. But that happens in outer space. Everyone dies. So I thought that was a bad idea to begin with. All right. Enough with that. Is there anything else, New Snail, that you want to tell us about? Anything else going on in the world of sports, New Snail, before I move on? Oh, yes. Warner Brothers Discovery the NBA wants a lawsuit thrown out. Really? I hadn't heard that. Because nothing says you need the NBA like suing to keep it. Yeah, I haven't heard that one before. I dropped my notes here. That's why, if you're watching, I just dropped my notes, which is why you saw me bend down there. I wasn't actually petting the New Snail. New Snail's on a video camera over here. What? That wasn't a short joke. That wasn't a short joke. No. I can clearly see you on the screen there. No, I did. All right. So as I teased moments ago, it is time for the unofficial college football rankings 2024 edition. This is how I believe the season will finish out and the teams will make the playoffs. Now, I'm not going to do matchups. I'm not going to do who's hosting, who's away, which bowl games. I'm not going to do all that. I'm just going to give you my top 12 at the end of the year on whatever day the season ends, late November, early December. We have conference championship week. This is what it will look like. These will be the 12 teams fighting for the national championship. All right? Coming in at number 1. No, we don't have to. No, we won't do the imaging. The imaging is for winners of the week. No, we're going to keep that separate. We're not going to do that, Dave. No.
Here's number 1.
No, I'm not. No, this is going to confuse people because they hear that and they think winners of the week is coming. It's going to take too long. So, no, we're not doing the music and the imaging for every one of these. But I have at number 1, the Georgia Bulldogs. So,
Here's number 1.
At number 1, I have the Georgia Bulldogs because they should have been won last year. I don't think a loss should excuse you from being in the national championship picture. Excuse me. Let me say that again. I don't think one loss should keep you from the national championship picture. In fact, if you're clearly the best team, if someone looks at you playing football and decides, yeah, I know my cord was wrapping around myself. Let me work. Let me cook, Dave. I know it looked weird that I put my arm over my shoulder. I'm fixing this cord that you disassembled. Anyway, let me get this Georgia point out here. This is very important. I don't think 2 losses should dismiss you from the national championship picture. If someone looks at you on film, especially a committee, if one person in the committee, 2 people, if an entire committee looks at you on film and says, this is the best team, I don't care how many losses you have, I don't care who you played, when I see those linemen blocking, these are the best linemen blocking, then they should be in the top 4. Wins don't mean anything. Okay? Let's just straighten that out. There's this notion out there that winning should be the decider of college football. That is not true. When you watch Simone Biles, does she win the competitions? Or do you see her artfully perform her skills and say, that right there is the best gymnast? That's how you decide it. That's how college football should be decided. So I don't want to hear any more about, Florida State was undefeated. No, it doesn't matter. When they lost their quarterback, were they one of the best 4 teams? No, they weren't. Georgia lost to Alabama. Ooh, how exciting. Does that mean they weren't one of the best 4 teams? No. What happened to Washington in the national championship game? What happened to Texas Christian, TCU? You see what happened to them? We got to get this notion out of here. It's ridiculous. Winning. Turn on the film. See who looks the best. Put those teams in. I'm sorry, I didn't mean to get upset about that. Let me run through the rest of this list real quick. Number 1, Georgia. Number 2, Texas. These are my top 4 seeds. Number 3, Alabama. And number 4, Ole Miss. So these are the teams that are going to get byes in the first round, the conference champions from each of the 4 major conferences. Number 5, Missouri. I think Missouri is a great team. Missouri, dangerous team. Eli Drinkwater and the boys. Is that his name? It is now. Yeah. Yeah. I think that's it. I don't know. I don't watch Missouri football, but I know they're good. I mean, look at their schedule. Look at who Missouri plays. Go look it up right now. I want you to stop listening to the show, search Missouri's schedule, and you're going to see quality opponent, quality, quality. All their games should not have numbers next to them in terms of ranking. It should just have Qs because they're all quality games. Next, LSU. Now, Bagman had them losing to USC. Is that correct? Is that what he did, Dave? I wasn't listening to the show, John. Did he say that? He had them?
Yes.
He did. Okay. Well, I think you beat UCLA in non-conference, and then you go through that slate. Even if you lose to Alabama at some point in the season, even if you lose to Arkansas, it's going to be a good team on film, so they're going to get in as well. Oklahoma, I have them making it in here. Sorry, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. 8 is Oklahoma. 9 is Texas A&M. They play Notre Dame in the non-conference. They're going to play Texas. I don't care who they beat or don't beat. When they play Texas, they're going to look good. Then we have, at number 10, Florida. Number 11, Kentucky. And lastly, the last team to make the playoff, the winner of Ohio State, Oregon. I think that team's going to get in as the 12th seed. So those are my top 12 in college football who make the playoffs this year. Georgia, Texas, Alabama, Ole Miss, Missouri, LSU, Tennessee, Oklahoma, Texas A&M, Florida, Kentucky, and then the winner of Ohio State, Oregon, I think will make it in. And if Oregon or Ohio State slip up at some point during the season, Vanderbilt opens the door for those 12. All right. That is it for college football. Whatever announcer man did when he was speaking into the microphone earlier, when he was recording the pre-show, live from a city, whatever he does, I think he got something on the microphone because I'm coughing now too. All right. It is time now for the winners of the week. John. Excuse me for a moment. It is time now for the winners of the week.
It's time for the best countdown in sports radio.
It's true.
From 10 to 1, here are the informal programs. Winners!
All right, it's time for the winners of the week, and we have a sponsor this week brought to you also by water. If you want to stay hydrated towards the end of summer with these hot days approaching, try some water. All right. We have 7 this week. We have time for 7. I'm not even going to, get on Dave for saying that, we don't have time for the top 10 because we announced 10. We never do it. Let's go straight to number 7.
It's number 7.
Coming in at number 7, the NASCAR Appeals Committee. Now, last week we told you that Austin Dillon had been denied his win at Richmond after wrecking Joey Logano and Denny Hamlin blatantly, and NASCAR said, no, we cannot have that. You cannot win a race that blatantly and just wreck everyone. You're not Chick Hicks, despite the mustache and, all that. So, Austin Dillon took it to the high court, and the high court said, no, NASCAR, you're correct. Now, Austin Dillon and Richard Childress Racing have now said, let's go to the even higher court. So they will be going sometime to the future to Washington and Oregon to decide the fate of. Was that a? No, that's not a. Come on, don't. That's not something to joke about. A high court, please. Going to Washington. It's embarrassing. Who's writing for this show, Dave? Why do you have writers working for you? What are you doing back there? He's laughing. Dave's laughing, thinking he's the funniest guy in the world writing the high court. This is a serious matter. Number 6.
At number 6.
Coming in at number 6, we have Major League Soccer. Now, many of you have not been paying attention because Messi got injured, and you said, well, what's the point of watching the league? If you had been watching, you would have known there's something called the Leagues Cup, which is a very prestigious tournament established last year between all the teams from Liga MX, which is the Mexican League, and Major League Soccer. We now have our final. Our final is between defending Western Conference champion defending Western Conference champion Los Angeles FC, LAFC, Jump for LA Football Club Olé, and the Columbus Crew. Now, you may notice neither of those teams play in Liga MX, which means MLS got there. No one else got there. MLS are the winners. That's right. Coming in at number 5, John Beanie.
Here's number 5.
Coming in at number 5, speaking of soccer, the NWSL players. That would stand for the National Women's Soccer League, who have a new collective bargaining agreement that not only ends the draft and allows players to sort of have freedom of movement, but also says if you get traded, you have to approve the trade if you're a player. That's right. All players essentially get something like a no-trade clause. Will this expand through the rest of American team sports? What, said the owners? Players deciding where they want to go and we can't just trade them at will? I don't think so. But NWSL players, you know what? You bargained well, you were the winners. Winners! I don't know what happens when it just stops like that. All right, next.
At number 4?
Coming in at number 4, Tina Charles. Tina Charles, WNBA player, is now second all-time in the all-time scoring list. Winners! It's a big accomplishment. That's all we got. Do you want me to tell her life story, where she grew up, or am I good? I'm good? Yeah, good for her. All right, very nice. Let's move on to number 3. Oh no. Excuse me for a moment.
We have a
letter
to announce.
All right. Where's Caitlin Clark? Tina Charles is number 3. What did that do to Caitlin Clark? Who wrote that in? What are we doing here? All right, give me number 3. Excuse me for a moment. Another one?
We have a
letter
to announce.
Okay. Everyone knows Angel Reese will reach number 2. Okay, enough, people. Enough. Thank you. We get it. Every time I talk WNBA, do I have to bring up both of them, or can I just say something happened in the WNBA? This is getting ridiculous. Do I have to?
Yes.
Unbelievable. All right, John, hit me with this is a
Yes.
okay. Yes, okay, I do. Every time. We're gonna have this every single time. This is can't it's like Ronaldo and Messi. Like, can I just speak every time this comes up? Every time I got to talk about how. Oh, for the love of wonder. I'm not even looking at it. I'm not looking at the letter. I'm not reading the letter.
We have
No,
another
letter.
no.
to
Get
announce.
this out of here. No. I already see the envelope. There's a Messi. There's an Argentina flag on it. No more. Can't people just enjoy the sport? Do we have to make it an argument about who's better? Messi, Ronaldo, Caitlin Clark, Angel. No more letters. Turn it off. Shut it off. No, I'm not reading this letter. No, I'm not reading that one. No more letters. No more letters. Shut the mailbox
have another
down.
letter.
No,
to
we're out of
announce.
time. I'm not reading it. John, hit me with number 3, please.
And now, your top 3.
Coming in at number 3, Oklahoma State's Name, Image, and Likeness Fund. Because nothing says the purity of college athletics has disappeared more than having a literal QR code on the back of Oklahoma State players' helmets to donate to the NIL fund. No, we did not make that up. That's a real thing that happened. You can look it up. We now have GoFundMe on the back of helmets to pay for college athletics. At least they're getting paid and it's above the table. I'm not saying that that's not great, but the GoFundMe thing, like, this is, have we crossed the line? Have we gone too far? Has this gotten too cartoonish? If only there was some governing body that could, control what's happening here, but that's crazy.
This is number 2.
Coming in at number 2, Joey Votto. Votto, an improv legend, a good Canadian man, a humorist who will do well in the broadcast booth if he does go that way, but also a Cincinnati Reds legend who announced his retirement this week. Joey Votto, if you haven't looked up his stats, you should look up his stats, because Joey Votto is one of the greatest players of this generation in baseball, right up there with, Bryce Harper, Mike Trout, all of these different guys. He had a great
We have
have another
letter
to announce.
It's from a Bryce Harper fan, huh? Okay. I'm sorry I mentioned another player in his name. Anyway, Joey Votto had a great career, but it's not quite number one. John Beanie, please end the show. Hit me with number one.
Here's number one.
Since when is this the 20-minute LA Sports Show? By the way, if you'd like to send a letter, informalprogram@gmail.com or online, informalprogram.com, just click on where it says contact the show or something. You'll see a picture of the mailbox. Not that we need more letters debating who's better, Kobe or LeBron or anything like that. But if you want to do that. No, I didn't say.
We have another
letter
to announce.
I didn't solicit letters for who's better, Kobe or LeBron. I just threw it out as a hypothetical question, John. Anyway, coming in at number one this week. Can I do it again? Actually, can I do it again? Because I feel like I've lost it here. Hit me again with the winners of the week.
Here's number one.
So much extra time in this show. Coming in at number one this week, there can only be one winner, and that winner is Caleb Williams, the face of the NFL. If you thought Patrick Mahomes was good, you should have seen the three throws that Caleb Williams made in preseason. I'm telling you. All the people who mocked him at USC, all the people, remember when people were saying Max Duggan should have won the Heisman Trophy because, they didn't watch any USC football? Yeah, I know I stumbled over my words. You want to do the show, Dave? You want to close out the show? You know what? That's enough. Thank you for joining the show today. If you'd like to leave a letter about who's better, Caitlin Clark or Kobe or LeBron or any of those people, you leave it in the mailbox and informalprogram@gmail.com. Dave, you close out the show.
We have another
letter
to announce.
He might have left. He might have rage quit the show entirely. Yeah. Anyway, we may be back next week. We may be back in 2 weeks. Bagman will be here next week, though, so there's that. Subscribe on YouTube. Informalprogram.com. Yeah. No awkward tension here.